Have you ever felt like the old rules for building wealth, the ones our parents followed, just don't work anymore? Well, you are definitely not alone. But what if there was a new formula, a modern playbook to actually get rich, even if you're on a normal salary? Let's break that new formula down. I mean, we hear it all the time, right? Buy a house, work hard, save your money. But honestly, with prices for everything soaring and wages just kind of staying flat, it's fair to ask, is that advice completely broken for our generation? The anxiety is real for sure. But you know what? So is the opportunity. Okay, check this out. This is the core of the problem. Over the last few decades, while our wages have maybe doubled, if we're lucky, housing costs have literally exploded by 9 times. The math just doesn't add up. The old path to the American dream has pretty much become a financial dead end for so many people. So it's pretty clear we need a new map. In this explainer, we're going to cover 5 critical steps. We'll start with the new rules of money, then learn how to speak the language of money, find 2 solid paths to earning more, lay out a 4-stage investing plan, and finally, uncover the real secret to building wealth. All right, let's dive into the new rules. It's so easy to look at a tough market and just get discouraged, right? To just sit around waiting for things to get good again. But the first new rule is a total mindset shift. A down market isn't a crisis. It's a sale. Everything's on discount. I know this quote sounds a little intense, but it captures a timeless truth. Real wealth is built when everyone else is panicking. When assets are cheap and fear is running high, that's your moment. That's when the smartest moves are made. So here's the bottom line. Stop waiting for the right time. You can make money in any market, up, down, or sideways. It's not about timing the market. It's about having the right strategy and, honestly, the guts to use it when other people are too scared to. And that leads us perfectly into our second section, speaking the language of money. Because before you can even think about earning more or investing, you have to understand the fundamentals. This is the absolute non-negotiable first step on this journey. So what does that even mean? Financial literacy is just the skill of understanding money, how it works, how you manage it, and how you make it work for you. Think of it like this. You wouldn't try to negotiate a business deal in Madrid if you didn't speak a word of Spanish, right? Well, it's the same thing. You've got to know the language to win the game. A perfect example is really getting the difference between a debit card and a credit card. We've all been taught that credit cards are bad or dangerous, but that's a huge oversimplification. Your debit card does absolutely nothing to build your credit score, and a good credit score is the key, the golden ticket, to getting good loans for a house or a business down the road. A credit card, as long as you pay it off in full every single month, is an incredible tool to build that score, get rewards, and stay protected. That's financial fluency in action. It's also about knowing the difference between an asset and a liability. Super simple. An asset puts money in your pocket, a liability takes money out. The whole game changes once you focus on buying assets. Okay, so once you understand the language, it's time to actually increase your income. And there are really 2 main paths here. One for those of you working inside a company, and one for those who want to go out and build your own thing. If you're an employee, the secret isn't just about working more hours. It's about expanding your scope. Think of it like this. You start as a bricklayer, just doing specific tasks. Then you become a builder, managing whole projects. The real money, though, starts when you become an architect, designing new initiatives, and finally, a city planner, thinking about the entire business ecosystem. More scope equals more value, and more value always equals more pay. Now, for all you aspiring entrepreneurs out there, the biggest myth is that you need a huge pile of cash to get started. You don't. What you actually need is the knowledge of how to get money. There are grants, small business loans, investors. They're all around you, just looking for good ideas and people who are willing to put in the work. Money's everywhere if you just know how to find it. And here's another huge myth buster. You don't have to quit your job and risk everything. In fact, studies show your startup is 33% more likely to succeed if you build it on the side while keeping your main paycheck. This lets you make smart, strategic decisions from a place of stability, not a place of pure panic. So you're earning more money. That is fantastic. Now, what do you do with it? This brings us to our 4-stage investing plan. Think of it as a clear, simple roadmap to take you from a total beginner to a savvy investor. Okay, listen up, because it's so important to follow these stages in order. Stage 1, invest in yourself. Your skills, your knowledge, that will always give you the highest return. Stage 2, automate your investing into low-cost diversified index funds. This is the simplest, most effective way for most people to build wealth, period.
Now, stages 3 and 4, we're talking private deals, real estate, owning your business. That's for later, once you're a pro. Seriously, don't skip ahead. And all along your investing journey, just keep this legendary advice from Warren Buffett in the back of your mind. It's exactly what we said earlier. The best opportunities pop up when there's fear. So when the market is panicking, you should be looking for opportunity. And when everyone is euphoric and greedy, you should probably be a little cautious. And that brings us to our final and honestly the most important section. We've talked about tactics and strategies, but the real secret to building wealth, it's not in a spreadsheet or a hot stock tip. It's all about your mindset. So let me ask you a question. What do you think is the number one thing that holds people back financially? It's not taxes or inflation or even a low salary. It's something much more sneaky and way more destructive.
It's this, the obsession with looking rich instead of actually being rich. We trade long-term wealth for short-term status. Buying things we can't afford with credit card debt just to post a picture on Instagram for 5 minutes. This is the trap that keeps people in a cycle of debt and financial stress forever. This slide right here shows the exact mindset you need to adopt. You need to be a fixer, not a freeloader. A freeloader sees a problem and just complains about it. A fixer sees a problem and immediately starts thinking, how can I find the profit inside this? For example, the founders of Airbnb saw a problem. Hotels were super expensive and travelers wanted more local experiences. Instead of just complaining, they created a platform to fix it. And in doing so, they built a billion-dollar company. The lesson here is so simple, but so powerful. Stop seeing problems as setbacks. Start seeing them as giant, flashing signposts, pointing directly to where the money is. Whether it's in your job, your community, or your own life, the biggest challenges always hold the biggest rewards. So I'll leave you with this question. Forget about some get-rich-quick scheme. Instead, just look around you, at work, at home, in your own budget. What is the first problem you're going to fix? Because that is where your journey to real wealth actually begins.